I'm sitting in the back row of a federal courtroom watching my own father, shackled 43 pounds lighter, eyes hollow, beg a judge not to send him away for 99 months. His crime: stealing my identity to bankroll my baby brother's baseball dreams, while a lump the size of a marble grew in my throat. Mama's gripping a rosary so tight her knuckles done turned white, but when her eyes finally land on me, I don't blink. I just stare straight through her like she's glass. The Richard B. Russell Federal Building smells like industrial cleaner and desperation. All marble floors and fluorescent lights that make everybody look half dead. My daddy's orange jumpsuit hangs loose on shoulders that used to fill out custom suits from that spot on Peachtree. Judge Patricia Morrison sits up there in her black robe, face carved from stone, flipping through a folder thick as a phone book while the prosecutor lays out every single count. Aggravated identity theft, wire fraud, tax evasion, the list so long it makes my stomach turn. Marcus sitting 2 rows ahead, head down, ankle monitor hidden under his Nike joggers, looking like the scared 21-year-old he really is instead of the invincible golden child they tried to make him. The gallery packed with reporters, pencils scratching, cameras clicking despite the no photography rule. Everybody hungry for this story about the contractor who robbed his own daughter to buy his son a fastball. My hands rest flat on my lap, still steady, the thin scar under my jaw barely visible unless you looking for it. I ain't shaking. I ain't crying. I'm just watching the empire I paid for crumble in real time, and child, it feel like breathing after 30 years underwater. But to understand how I ended up in this courtroom watching my own blood beg for mercy they never showed me, we gotta rewind 33 months back to when I was still trapped in that house on Cascade Road. I was 27 then, working as a junior strategist at Momentum Creative downtown, the kind of agency where every Monday they served mimosas at the staff meeting and called it Synergy. I was good at my job, real good. The kind of good where clients specifically requested me for their campaigns because I could read a room, sense what people needed before they said it out loud. That same intuition that helped me craft viral social campaigns should have told me to run from my own family years earlier, but blood got a way of making you ignore what your spirit's screaming. I'd wake up at 5:30 every morning in that unfinished basement, cinder block walls sweating condensation, one bare bulb swinging overhead, and the constant thud-thud-thud of Marcus's fastballs already echoing from the backyard batting cage Daddy built where our garden used to be. Mama kept his entire schedule on a dry erase board stuck to the Sub-Zero fridge. Perfect Game National in June, Area Code Games in August, every showcase that mattered marked in red Sharpie. My work meetings, my doctor appointments, my whole existence never earned a single square on that board. I'd dress in my tiny basement bathroom, iron my slacks standing next to the utility sink, practice my presentations while the hot water heater hissed, then drive my beat-up Accord to Buckhead while Marcus slept until noon because his arm needed rest. Every 2 weeks like clockwork, Mama would text me a Venmo request with a baseball emoji and a number that kept climbing, $300 for new cleats, $800 for the pitching coach, $2,000 for the tournament in Jupiter. And I'd send it because that's what you do for family, right? That's what Big Mama taught us before she passed, that Harris blood meant something, that we take care of our own no matter what. The pressure started building the spring Marcus turned 19, and his fastball jumped from 89 to 94 in 6 months flat. Suddenly every D1 coach in the SEC was calling, scouts showing up at his travel ball games with radar guns and notebooks, talking about draft projections and signing bonuses that made Daddy's eyes light up like Christmas morning. I was working 60-hour weeks at the agency, leading the Coca-Cola regional campaign, while sleeping 4 hours a night, because the batting cage sessions got longer, louder later. One Tuesday I came home past midnight from a client dinner to find Daddy and Marcus in the driveway, trunk of the Escalade open, unloading boxes from some sports medicine place in Buckhead. Supplements, Marcus said when I asked, stuff the pitching coach recommended to increase velocity and recovery. The labels looked medical, clinical, words I ain't recognize. My spirit shifted right then, that feeling Big Mama used to call the ancestors tapping your shoulder, but I pushed it down because questioning Marcus was like questioning God in that house. I started sending more money. $500 here for the new radar gun, $1,200 there for the biomechanics analysis, $4,000 for the spring break showcase in Arizona where he threw a no-hitter and got written up in Perfect Game's top prospects report. Every time I tried to pull back, Tried to say I needed to save for my own apartment. Mama would call me selfish, say I was jealous of my baby brother's success, ask me why I couldn't just be happy for him. The lump showed up 3 days after my 27th birthday, hard as a marble under my left jaw, the kind of thing you notice when you're putting on earrings. I felt it and my whole body went cold. I made an appointment with Dr. Reynolds in Cascade, who felt it, frowned deep, and sent me straight to an ENT specialist who sent me to oncology. The first available appointment was 9 months out at Emory, and I took it, marked it in my phone calendar in red, the only red thing that was ever about me. Those 9 months I watched that lump grow while Marcus's recruitment exploded. My voice started cracking on certain words during client presentations, my necklaces stopped sitting flat, and nobody in that house asked me once if I was okay. Daddy only called when Marcus needed something. A ride to the airport because Uber wasn't fast enough, money for another private session, someone to video his bullpen for the recruiting coordinators. I kept showing up, kept wiring the money, kept pretending I ain't notice how my reflection in the mirror looked more tired every week, how sometimes I had to stop halfway up the basement stairs to catch my breath. Then one Saturday morning in March, Mama called me 7 times before 8 a.m. I finally answered and she didn't even say hello. Just, we need $6,000 by Monday for Marcus's showcase fees and the Sarasota trip. I was in my car outside the Cascade Kroger, grocery bags in the trunk, trying to figure out how to make $83 last until payday on Friday. I don't have it right now, I said, my voice sounding hollow even to myself. Then put it on a card, she said, like it was nothing, like I was the family ATM. The cards are maxed, Mama. I'm barely making minimums. She went quiet for 3 long seconds. Then, well, you better figure it out because his future depends on it, and I know you got good credit. That should have been my sign to run, but I was so deep in the quicksand by then I couldn't see the edges no more. I applied for 1 more card, got approved for $8,000, sent them 6, kept 2 for the oncology appointment copays I knew was coming. That appointment was circled on my calendar for 2 months away, April 27th, 9:30 a.m. Dr. Sarah Mitchell, the biopsy that would finally tell me if I was dying or just paranoid. But Marcus's Perfect Game National Showcase landed on the exact same Saturday, and when the house meeting happened 3 weeks before, I already knew how it was gonna go. Daddy called me upstairs to the good living room. We never sat in, the one with the plastic runners on the cream carpet and the furniture nobody could touch. Marcus was sprawled on the couch in his Perfect Game hoodie, scrolling his phone, not even looking up. Mama had the master calendar open on her iPad, tapping her acrylic nails against the screen. Marcus needs to be at Hartsfield by 7:45 for the charter to Fort Myers, Daddy said, not asking, just informing. His flight's at 9:50. Your appointment ain't until 9:30, so you can drop him and still make it. I looked at the route calculation I'd already done in my head. Airport was 48 minutes from the hospital on a good day, and Saturdays on I-85 was never a good day. I can't do both, I said, keeping my voice level professional, the same tone I use with difficult clients. The biopsy requires I arrive 30 minutes early for paperwork. If I'm late they'll cancel and the next opening isn't for another 8 months. Marcus finally looked up. So reschedule it. This is Perfect Game National, Simone. Every MLB team sending scouts. This is my whole future. The air in that room went tight. I felt the ancestor tap again, stronger this time, Big Mama's voice in my head saying, baby, get up and walk out. But I didn't. I stayed glued to that plastic-covered chair and said the word that changed everything. No. Just that. Just no. Marcus's face twisted up like I'd cursed him out. He stood up fast, that athlete quickness, crossed the room in 3 strides until he was standing over me. What you mean, no? His voice dropped low, dangerous. I mean, I'm not rescheduling. This appointment took 9 months to get. I need to know if this lump is cancer. Daddy laughed. Actually laughed, like I'd told the funniest joke he ever heard. Girl, you've been walking around fine with that thing for months. You ain't dying. But Marcus's shot at the draft is right now, today, and you being selfish as hell. I opened my mouth to explain about the voice cracks, the breathing issues, the way my neck looks swollen in photos now, but Marcus's hand moved before I could form the words. Open palm, full force, cracked across my left cheek so hard the room spun sideways. The impact knocked me clean out the chair onto that plastic runner. hip catching the sharp corner of the antique side table Mama loved more than her own children. Coffee table books scattered everywhere. I tasted copper, felt heat spreading across my face like fire. Selfish bitch. Marcus screamed and nobody stopped him, nobody moved. I looked up from the floor. Daddy standing there with his arms crossed. Mama already pulling up Marcus's boarding pass on her phone like I wasn't even bleeding on her precious carpet. Then Daddy said the words that severed every cord tying me to that family. His future actually matters, Simone. Yours doesn't. The room went completely silent except for my breathing and Marcus's Air Maxes squeaking on the hardwood as he paced. I stayed down for exactly 4 seconds, counting them in my head like I used to count those fastball thuds in the basement. On 5, I pushed myself up slow, wiped my mouth, tasted blood mixed with the Fenty lipstick I'd put on that morning when I still thought today might be the day I finally got answers. Something inside me that had been bending for 30 years snapped clean in half. I walked past all 3 of them without a word. Up the stairs to that basement I'd been living in like a tenant in my own childhood home. Grabbed the go bag I kept for work emergencies. Threw in 3 days of clothes, my laptop, charger, the thick folder with every medical record I owned, and the shoebox with $4,300 in cash I'd been hiding for emergencies. 14 minutes from the slap to the second I walked back through that living room headed for the front door, car keys in my hand, face swelling but vision finally clear. Simone, what the hell you doing? Daddy's voice behind me. I didn't turn around. I opened that door, stepped into the cold April morning, pulled it shut with a soft click that somehow sounded louder than any of Marcus's screaming, and drove away from that house for the last time in my life. Now I'm back in this courtroom, and that same Judge Morrison who just heard about every dollar they stole is asking Daddy if he got anything to say before sentencing. He stands up slow, belly chain rattling, and I watch him prepare to perform, the same way he performed at family reunions at church every time he needed people to see him as the good contractor who built half of South Atlanta instead of the man who beat his daughter's credit to death for his son's curveball. Your Honor, I'm ashamed. He starts, voice shaking just right. And I almost laugh because I spent 6 years in advertising learning how to read body language for focus groups and every tell he's showing is fake. I made terrible choices trying to give my son opportunities one never had. I never meant to hurt my daughter. The lie sits heavy in the air thick as Fabuloso on Saturday morning. Judge Morrison's face don't move. She glances down at something on her desk, the document I had my lawyer submit last week, the one nobody in my family knows about yet, and I see the corner of her mouth twitch. That document was my signature move, the thing I learned building viral campaigns. Control the narrative before it controls you. I didn't just file police reports and wait. I built a full media strategy. Created a 37-page presentation with every receipt, every forged signature, every text message where Mama demanded money, complete with a timeline showing Marcus's velocity increases matched perfectly with the Sarasota pharmacy charges. Then I leaked it strategically, first to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution sports desk, then to ESPN, then to every baseball recruiting blog that had ever written about Marcus. By the time we hit this courtroom, the story wasn't family dispute. It was cautionary tale of youth sports corruption, and Daddy's face was the poster. Judge Morrison clears her throat, shuffles papers, and her voice cuts through the courtroom like sweet Georgia winter air. Mr. Harris, I've reviewed the victim impact statement submitted by your daughter, including the detailed advertising presentation showing how you systematically exploited her professional skills while destroying her financial future. 99 months, Federal Correctional Institution Jessup. Report in 33 days. The gavel cracks down. Daddy's knees buckle. 2 marshals catch him before he hits the floor. Mama lets out this sound, half sob, half scream. That might have broken me a year ago but now just sounds like noise. Marcus stares straight ahead, ankle monitor blinking under his joggers, finally understanding that talent without character ain't worth the dirt on Big Mama's grave. The prosecutor stands. Requests forfeiture of the Cascade Road property to satisfy the $181,000 in restitution, plus interest. Judge Morrison grants it without hesitation. Auction scheduled 44 days from today. That house with the batting cage, the trophy room, the plastic runners, the dry erase board that never had space for my name, all gone. I watched the marshals lead Daddy out in chains, Mama reaching for Marcus who flinches away from her touch. For one brief second her eyes sweep the gallery and land on me. Recognition hits and her whole face crumples like wet tissue. I keep my expression flat, unchanged, the same face I give difficult clients who think tears gonna make me discount my rates. She realizes I ain't the same girl who left that house bleeding, and something in her breaks completely. I stay in my seat until the courtroom empties, until even the court reporter packs up. Then I stand, smooth down my cream blazer, touch the thin scar under my jaw that Dr. Sarah removed 9 months ago, benign thyroid nodule, no evidence of malignancy, and walk out into the bright Atlanta afternoon. 1 year and 47 days from the morning Marcus slapped me. I own a 1940s bungalow in East Atlanta with dark green siding, and a garden big enough for tomatoes and peace, no batting cage anywhere in sight. Last Saturday I drove past the old house and saw a young family moving in, their little girl chasing bubbles across what used to be Marcus's practice mound. The new mama waved at me friendly-like, and I waved back. In my rearview mirror I watched that child run across the exact spot where I used to count fastballs in the dark, and I held the image for exactly 1 second before pressing the accelerator and merging onto Freedom Parkway. My hands didn't shake on the wheel, my voice don't crack no more, and the only chain I wear is the one Big Mama left me with her initials engraved on the back. They lost everything, the house, the reputation, the golden child, each other. I gained a life that's finally 100% mine. And as the Atlanta skyline rose up ahead of me and that old neighborhood disappeared behind, I smiled for the first time in years without checking to see who might be watching. If this message touched your heart, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment to let me know you're out there. Tell me where you're watching from. We're building a community here where your story becomes someone else's survival guide. We share the pain and the wins so that the next person knows the way out. Keep your circle tight, protect your energy at all costs, and always remember that you are the architect of your own fate. Every choice counts, so make 'em wise. Much love.